Hi, I am Jack the Ripper. Tonight is a foggy night, barely even a cricket stirs. I am meeting a young girl for a drink. We sit and talk over a meal of spaghetti. As we finish, I walk her home. I say, my lass, unfortunately, you have to die. The chill in the air wraps around us. As I lead her down the darkened street, the echoes of our footsteps swallowed by the fog. She looks at me, a faint hint of unease creeping into her smile, but she can't quite put her finger on why. I grab her and slam her against the wall. "'Tis this night be beautiful enough for your soul to leave your body, my lady." As I reveal a knife to her, "What shall you do, ma'am, run fight, or die a fleeting, fearful death?" Her eyes are wide in horror. She gasps, her hands trembling as she contemplates her next move, the streetlight flickering above us like a heartbeat. The knife glints in the dim light, emphasizing the danger and urgency of the situation, and I can see her terrified reflection on its blade. "The girl is panicked. Why is thy sir angry with me?" I put a finger to her lips. "My lady, all beautiful flowers need planted in the earth. Your death will grow many beautiful flowers to replace you," as I plunge my knife in her chest. I hear a gasp of air as she struggles to breathe, slowly. Falling backwards against the wall, she makes a gargling and choking noise, and slowly her head tilts sideways as the color leaves her eyes. I laugh. "My sweet girl, rest. Now the earth needs you." I walk away from the girl's cold, lifeless body and down the street. And I proceed back to my house. As I do, I hear a guy shout for help, "OMG help. There's a hurt girl here, police help now." As I turn, I slowly walk towards the crowd gathering, so not to be suspicious. Everyone panicking in the crowd, I proclaim, "Dear me, 'tis sad. Such a beauty. What horrible person dons the intent to hurt such a young girl?" As the crime scene clears up, I finally arrive at home, a feeling accomplishment. But I know one girl isn't enough. I go to work. It's a smoldering day. As I wipe sweat off my brow, I see a beautiful lady. I say, "Madam, I couldn't help but notice your beauty from afar. Let me introduce myself. I'm Jack. What is the lady's name?" I ask. She responds, "Daisy." "My good sir," I say, "we'll miss Daisy. Would the lady be interested in going dancing at the Wild Moon pub this evening?" She says, "I would be honored." I say, "Meet me here, and I will pick you up, my good lady." "Would the lady honor me with her presence at 1800 hours?" She says, "I would be delighted," as she hops onto her horse and rides off. I think to myself, such a beautiful girl shall make great food for the worms in the ground. These women trust bad guys so easy, the young fools. As the night envelops the village, I wander through memories of the past, wondering how easily she had trusted me. I knew this town held secrets, and I couldn't shake the feeling of impending doom that shadowed her every step. As I show up to her on my horse and buggy, as I hop down and open the door, she says, "Tie, good sir." She says. I steps inside, we go to the pub, and I let her out, and we go inside, where we drink and dance and have a merry time. As I hold her, I go in for a kiss, which she kisses me back, and the air is sweet from her lilac perfume mixed with my cologne, and we felt like we were the only people on earth. I tell Daisy, would the lady like to stay the night with the gentleman? She winks at me, only if the sir buys me a few more drinks, as she playfully shoves me. We sit and drink and laugh and head back to my house, where I undress and she undresses. She says, "Could the gentleman be gentle with me? I'm a virgin." I thrust into her hula, purity leaks like wine, and she grips the covers as two lovers entangle. The night was passionate, our shadows danced in the moonlight. Every action weaved in the shadows, sweat covered the blankets, moans and screams escape the house, and the stillness of the night is broken. When we are finished, I grabbed us a couple of cups of wine and say to her, "Your purity was sweet. It was such an honor." My beautiful dove has slowly rubbed her cheek. She says, "Can the gentleman take me home?" I grab my clothes and we head outside. As Jack and Daisy left the house, Jack said, "Do you want to sit with me by the river?" Daisy replied, "Sure, I would like that, Mr. Jack." As they were sitting, Jack remarked, "There is one thing you don't know about me." And with that he grabbed Daisy, picked her off the ground and took her to the river. With a wicked smile, he threw her into the water and let out a laugh before jumping in after her. Daisy splashed in the water, her laughter mingling with the sound of the river as Jack dove in beside her, both surrounded by lively ripples. The sun filtered through the leaves of the trees lining the edge of the riverbank, capturing the joyous chaos happening in the water. That evening, as Jack went back to his house, now that Daisy's gone, the next flower shall line the fields tonight. Jack gets his coat and top hat and heads back out and sees a girl who slapped a man saying he was cheating on her. Jack says, "My fair damsel, what is the problem?" The man says, "This psycho thinks I'm cheating on her." Jack says, "Ma'am, are you sure he's cheating?" She retorts, "Yes, I found women's underwear, and they aren't mine." "Madam, may I take you away from this heathen?" As he says, "Take her." As they are riding in Jack's horse carriage, Jack stops and says, "Would thou set with me and look at the stars?" The lady says, "I barely know you, sir." Jack says, "Ma'am, please indulge me for just a glance. Even I did just save you." She says, "Fine if I must." As they stare at the stars, Jack says, "Does the lady believe in an afterlife?" She says, "I don't know what to believe." He says, "Well, tell me," as he stabs her in the back. As I stand over her, she says, "Why, sir, why?" "Ah!" Ma'am looks for violence in argument. "I will allow you to be silent for once. Please rest." As I stab her, her body goes cold. Her eyes stop blinking. She goes limp and quiet. Ma'am spoke many words, now doesn't speak any. Silence, the truest form of peace. The stillness grows heavier, enveloping the room like a thick fog. Shadows dance along the walls, as if mourning the loss of a voice that once filled the air with words. Every echo of her plea hangs in the atmosphere, a haunting reminder of what was just moments before. As Jack reaches his house, he ties up his horse and goes into his house. Suddenly, a woman rushes him and jumps on him, knocking him into the wall. "It's Daisy, welcome home," she proclaims, kissing him and holding him in her arms. "Hello, my sweet." He returns her kiss. "I've missed you, my sweetheart," Jack says with a smile on his face. "Since our fun in the river, I knew I loved you." She says, "I have never been so happy with anyone other than you, Sir Jack, nor have I, my sweet Daisy."